this is the story of an investment in art you're not likely to get to appreciate much yourself, at least not in this lifetime. Lisa Troost!
Nice to see you, Ben.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, the name of the place, of course,
Is Peter Troost Monument Company in Hillside, Illinois.
And what exactly do you do here?
We make monuments and markers for all cemeteries in the Chicagoland area and throughout the U.S. About 114 years now, since 1889.
The showroom, eh?
That's right. This is our main showroom where we'll meet with families who are looking for an upright monument on perhaps inclement weather days where we can't use our outdoor display. Hey, here comes my dad. He can give you another perspective on the business.
Ah, the big man. How you doing?
Hi.
Introduce yourself.
Frank Troost. I like to say I'm the current generation in charge.
How did the family get into this anyway? Do you know?
Yes, it was, my great-great-great-grandfather emigrated from Belgium. He had been a stone cutter there and came to this country to try for a better life here. And he and his brother worked jointly in the business, and it's been handed down through the generations. I am now the 5th generation.
So where are you taking me, Lisa?
Okay, I'm going to take you to meet Bob Grant here, who is one of our full-time artists.
Hey, Bob.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Now, in this room, we see a lot of flat stuff, significance being...
Well, first of all, what you see here are samples of things. They're not like life size, if you will.
Oh.
These are like cut thin, so we can keep them on the wall. If we put the real ones on there, we'd pull the house down.
Who makes up the names?
She does.
You make up the names?
We have some fun with friends and employees. They might not know their time has passed, but when they come into the room one day, they do realize it.
I tend to be the model when they want some etched portraits. Those are done, we're done with a laser. Most of the portraits that we do, we prefer to hand etch.
Dean has been with us for over 30 years, working with us here, and he's doing some hand work on a monument for a family in active order that we have.
Take off that mask and say hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Afternoon.
Describe what this is you're doing now.
Well, these are called square sunk letters, where we take them in the sandblast room and take them down to a certain point, and then the rest is all the old-fashioned way with air hammers and chisels.
Gene, do you think of yourself as an artist?
No, I just think of an old man.
Come on!
No, you have to have a certain amount of artistic ability. A lot of people can't do it.
How long have you been doing it?
Oh, about 34 years.
This kind of artwork, I don't know, it's so personal and close, meaningful. Tell me your reflections on this kind of art.
Well, that's why we try to make it that way, so that it is meaningful and has specific meaning for the family, and customize it, personalize it, because we say, you know, what we do together is going to represent your family, you and your family, for many, many years. This is something that's truly permanent.
Is granite the stone of choice?
Yes, it is. It's the most durable. It wears the best with the elements. It's much harder than marble.
In the early days, most of the stones were made of either marble or limestone. They tended to weather away in time and deteriorate. Only the very rich could afford the granite because it was so much harder and so much difficult to work. But the price of granite in relative terms, has come way down, and the cost of putting these unusual finishes on them has gone down substantially.
Introduce yourself.
Jack Hallahan.
And wow, what's going on here? Is this the same process we saw Gene doing? No.
It's a little bit different. What this process involves is using air hammers and chisels. What we did to start the process off was we blasted down the background around this family name here.
How much does it weigh?
That stone, probably about 2,500 pounds.
Does this job build muscle? Yes, it does.
You bet your bippy.
Chances are, if I do this one and the guy that you spoke to earlier did it, we'd both do it in a different manner. And the product would come out looking similar, but it's still going to be different because everybody's got different methods of how they do it.
So where do you put your name here?
We don't sign them. Maybe down there on the bottom where nobody can see it.
Hey, introduce yourself to us.
I'm Mike Valentine. Nice to meet you.
Does your mind take you interesting places in this line of work?
I pretty much focus on everything that I'm doing here, and because there's a lot to watch for. There's a lot of things that, you know, that you could easily make a mistake on it.
We take pride in what we're doing. Everybody who's been here has been doing this for over 20-some years. So they like what they're doing, and we see the finished product. You drive through the cemetery and you may not remember the name, but you see a stone and you remember, you say, I remember that one. And it's strange. You can drive through the cemetery and it can be 15 years later and you still remember that stone that you did, because some of them have some peculiar things that are put on them. Some of them are just that you spend a lot of time on it and you like to see the product out there.
Is any stone they see going to work in any cemetery they want?
No, that's a very good question. Virtually all cemeteries in the Chicagoland area have rules, regulations, restrictions on the types, sizes, and sometimes even colors of monuments that they can have.
We'll make this a nice carved angel, for example. And then on the side, because you like flowers, we may put a couple of very nice vases on the side.
How many stones have you made, Frank, over the years?
Well, that's hard to say. I think today we probably make about 15,000 a year. Certainly 300,000, I think, that we have made since I've been with the company.
There's a certain sensitivity required of you in this business. It has sometimes to do with religion and just the time that they come in and all. But talk about that, if you would.
Well, we do try and keep ourselves educated on the different customs of different religions surrounding death and dying, so that when families come in from different backgrounds, we don't have to go through the process of having them educate us on what's important in their faith. So we do try and stay on top of that.
Now, they can be quite simple, they can be elaborate.
That's correct. An example of one of the more elaborate pieces that we've been working on is this angel here. We have her still crated to give her some protection from the elements while we're working on the rest of the monument. You can see the detail on the chain and the lantern like it's blowing in the wind.
In some ways, what you're doing is no different than the way they did it, what, 1,000 years ago?
Yeah, it's no different than the way it used to be. All we're doing is we may go a little bit deeper because we have the technology to blast this down. What they would have done is taken this same thing and they would have drawn the lines around there with a diamond pen or an etching tool.
Either one of you guys have any idea about the history of the monuments and the history of stones?
The simplest form of memorialize somebody was simply making a pile of rocks, putting a pile of rocks on someone, and then it kind of turned into something more elaborate, eventually into great things like the pyramids of Egypt, which are mausoleums.
What kind of price range are we talking about here? It's huge, isn't it?
It is. Things that we've seen so far may be as inexpensive as $400 up to a statue like the angel here in this kind of granite, maybe $75,000.
Most of the monuments that you see here in the showroom and on our display are original designs. The cross here, which you could interpret as the cross of life, was cast for us by a bronze company in Germany.
The name?
Oh, we just chose that name at random. The granite portions here were all cut and polished in India. This granite has a rather unusual name, this red stone. It's called cat's eye. This actually is one of my favorite designs that we have in the showroom. It has sort of an Art Deco look to it.